I am Menza. I post a game every day until I reach 500 elo. I am currently rated 443. And we're white, and we always like to get into a London and get everything as developed as possible. And my opponent is 463. Okay. And I see I have to wait for them to be reconnected. It says it will auto abort in 30 seconds. So. And, okay, and they have moved. Now we will go up with our moves here. And we will always support this pawn with this pawn as it is attacked, and it usually is by something. And then I always try to get this knight has to come out, and I do this so there's no pin happening. The queen is coming out. So we'll find out what they have in mind with the queen. Okay. So I can still do my move, and if they start getting over on the king side with the queen, I can go there. And of course, my bishop and my knight are going to have to get developed over here on the king side, and the king into his castle. Okay. So this pawn here is defended by the knight and the queen. Have a drink of water. I seem to have throat issues all the time. I always have candies nearby, which do help, but water is the best. Okay, so it's my turn. What though they brought that knight out here? Okay, I've done it where I have went. Notice that they had moved. We'll bring our knight out. And then this bishop is going to come up to here. Okay, and it is their move. They're coming in like that, and their queen is with it, so I don't like that too much. It's a little on the makes me nervous side, so if I push that pawn up here, it attacks the knight and gets rid of it, and what can the queen do? She can come over here, and I can consider doing that if that happens. So let's first get our bishop out and see what they do. They can take this pawn, and they will be attacking my queen and my rook, though my king can obviously take it. I don't want to have to make my king do that. Queen is coming there, maybe looking at that pawn there. So if the knight comes up there, then it attacks the queen. And this is also going to be under attack by my bishop. And he can obviously take, and then I'd be doing all that. So I think I will just proceed in castle. I'd prefer to have it where my pieces are all mobilized before any attacks are made and everything, but that is not how it usually works. And obviously, the queen always likes to get up onto another square so that the rooks are connected. And then we like to smash open somewhere. Okay, the knight's gonna go up there. Now the queen is looking down here. If I go here, it protects that pawn and it attacks the queen. Because I don't like how the queen, if she gets something else, she can get that. Well, maybe I'm just being too cautious. That knight, it's out of there. So, okay, I'm gonna just continue my development. And his bishop is trapped in there. This bishop can come out, but if it comes out, I knew it would be coming out. Okay, so I see. That's not good. Though, if I now do that move I was talking about, if he takes that pawn with his queen. Okay, wait, let's if he takes that with his queen, then I take with my knight, and then he would have to take with his bishop, and so yeah, he would lose his queen. So I'm going to attack the queen this way. Nothing is okay, nothing is attacking the knight there, so we will do that. And my bishop can also come up here if it was defended and trap that bishop. But this is also on that square. So right now I'm attacking the queen, and I think that does cause a little bit of a problem. Even though it would make it where there's a pawn opening on the king's side, which I don't like to cause. So, okay, he's gonna do that. And if I take, then okay, if I go here with my bishop, that's no good. And if I come back here with my bishop, so if I take, he takes, and then I just take back. So I think we should just be taking it. So, oh, and his queen was still sitting there. Okay, I was just distracted by. I find I'm too easily distracted by other things. Well, the queen is sitting there. She can't go here. Here would be, well, no. I'm threatening to take the queen, and if she moves, that's not safe there. This isn't safe. Here, well, no, it's pretty much not safe. It's really trapped in there. So I think there's going to be a queen taken off on his side. And his rook might be looking right down he would probably take with that pawn, and then there would be a little bit of a disruption. So I would have to watch for that. Probably would get a bishop in there, so that rook is coming over. So now I will do this here, and if he doesn't take back, then I take his rook. But I think he is gonna take back with a pawn easily. And that goes up attacking my queen, so I take with the knight, and then he takes back, and the rook is looking at my queen, though I take first, then he has to take back. So it's not like he's just going to be winning my queen. And let me just see if, okay. The other option is if I take this rook. Why would I want to do that? Why would I want my queen off? So I think I should just take the knight so there's no attack on my queen. He has to take back. Either he's going to take this knight here or this knight over here. Though I'm getting a queen for a knight. And the other knight is definitely going to go someplace. So this knight, if it goes here, it attacks that bishop, which is problematic, and I don't want my pawns disrupted here. And obviously he's got a disruption for that. So yes, I should do that with the knight and attack the bishop. And I obviously the rook defends it, but he would have to lose his bishop and his rook for a knight, so I don't think he's going to want that. So this bishop is going to have to get out of there or something else. I'm up plus 10. So this pawn, all right, the queen has that. If I could push that pawn, then I could get something maybe happening there, and my rooks need to get into this as well. My bishop is looking down here, so that bishop is protecting quite a bit there as well. Now this point here is, I don't want too many pieces on that, so I don't want to allow that too much. If my rook comes over behind the queen, queen could do something, and then be on here would be being attacked by a rook, so might be more moves here that I could do, though. I could pin that knight. It could just be moved. Something could be moved. And I like the way the bishops are watching over the king's side over here, because that bishop is still somewhat of a problem. If I do push, then he takes me, and what would I take it back with? So let's mobilize this knight. Rook, I mean. And so let's see what kind of thing the queen can do. And that bishop, cause the problem, that bishop is still in his home. This one is fine where it is because he's got an open file, but I could try and do something to close it. Maybe if I brought my knight somewhere. my knight is looking at that point right there. And he's going there to defend right there, so my bishop could, no, so the queen goes there. No, I don't really think that is too good. I push the pawn there, then he could take me, and my knight could take back, and then I lose a knight, so that's no good. Perhaps this bishop should come here, and it would be looking there for another defense. And I really feel like something more has to get on that. So we'll do that and see. So that pawn at the moment is attacked 3 times and defended 2 times. One of the pieces would be the queen, though, and I obviously don't want to lose my queen if I don't have to. And my knight, if it could get defense on that with another piece, I could take that off, and then I'm attacking both rooks. So I could try and get something else up there. What would it be? This pawn is stopped. Okay, so he's doing the thing of pushing the pawn. So now if I take with mine, he takes back. And then I have the queen to take back with. So that doesn't completely work. And if I take this bishop and put it here, no, that is undefended. And so he's obviously going to try to take that pawn if I don't do something else about it. Like if I push this pawn up, there's 2 on that, and then if he ends up pushing it, okay, so that doesn't work. All right, and if I put my queen here, then it stops the pawn from moving, and then I could start pushing that pawn. And my knight's looking at the bishop. So if I take that bishop right now, I'm attacking the knight, the rook, and that bishop, but he would take me back. And would be a little disruptive. My knight can take that at any time. And that would be okay. Well, so if I move my queen up, it obviously can't go here and attack that because of the knight, but it can go where? No, there's no other square that it can attack that pawn with being off that file so that the rook could be the first to take. Okay, it seems like there should be something more here. And I just maybe have to look. The knight goes there, takes that, and the king just takes it back, so that doesn't work. And if it takes that, then the pawn's out of there, and then my bishop. Okay, wait, let me think of that then. If my knight takes that, and then his pawn takes, no, this pawn here causes a problem. So I'm gonna actually bring my queen up, and I feel like at least the pawn can't advance anymore. Of course, if it did, it would be off everything where I could take it. So I could move this pawn now, though, up. And that would be 2 pawns on that one. So I think that might be a little bit nasty. And then this bishop could come here. And I'd like it if, okay. So that bishop is gonna get into the game here. I push this pawn now. If he takes, either way, I take back. And I'm preparing to be able to take. So I should possibly be pushing this so that there's no chance of any rook getting in there and back ranking anything. But this here has to be dealt with. Their king has not castled, and I don't think he's going to want to now that he's got the rook on the open file. So I think actually pushing that pawn would be good, because then it's pretty much closed and my knight is stopping any kind of anything there. That bishop can take this knight, and then my bishop would be taking his bishop, attacking rook. So he's taken that pawn. So I will take with the queen, because the queen is being attacked right now by the rook. And the bishop is on that as well as this rook, so I could have taken very wrong there. So I'm very glad I didn't lose my queen. So this knight, he just took defense off it. So if my bishop comes here, takes that knight, he's in check. Okay. Check. And now, obviously, the king has to go to the right because my rook stops anything from that. And my rooks are defending one another, and I just have to make sure that it's always that way. This knight here, if he goes here now, I can take this bishop. Okay, so now if I take this bishop, he has to take the pawn, and I would like to take that bishop, obviously, because it's causing me some issue. And I I go and take, this just takes me. I feel like there should be some more stuff in here. If I put my bishop right there, he can take me with his bishop. And then, okay, but if I take that bishop right out of there, I put him in check. So he has to do something. He'll probably take back with the pawn. There will be a opening to his king there. Okay, and now I'd like to double rooks. If I bring this bishop here, it's protected by the queen, and it will be putting that bishop under attack, which is only defended by the king. So if there's something I could do after that, that could be quite nasty, maybe. And obviously that rook can't do much because he has nobody to support him. So this is under attack, and if he takes me, I take with the queen, and then I'm attacking that rook. I'm up plus 13. And whenever I'm down in material, I don't want to exchange anything because then I get in. You're pretty much lost, I feel. So they are probably going to want to do something with their bishop so they don't lose it. He goes here, he's attacking that pawn, which is defended, and the bishop will then take the rook. Or the rook will, and okay, so. And then it will be check, and my queen's in on that, so probably some things that can be happening with the queen as well. And this rook is going to get over somewhere. That one can't do much. Okay, so he takes that. So I obviously am going to take back. So now the bishop is still under attack. And he's looking at mine, but my bishop is protected by the queen. So I feel like let's do that. Okay, so now let's just assess things. Like if I put him in check, then he's just gonna obviously take my rook. So if I take that, there's nothing to take me back with. Okay, so now it's showing I'm up plus 16. This is where I have to watch if I'm going to lose material because this is how it happens sometimes with me. There's pawns a lot here that can possibly do things. The queen would like to maybe get onto this file. And then the rook will be over on this file. If I go here with my queen, then there's multiple things it does. It protects that from anything, which obviously is protected by the king. And if he advances, then the queen could be in there as well. So if that is going to be tried, so I'd be going here with thoughts of going right there with the queen, and or I would want to go with the rook so that he has to go up here. Either way, I think I should look at this because maybe there's something, but let's go here. Okay, and so that pawn won't get anywhere. None of them will. If I can stop it with my queen. And obviously I can put him in check and he would have to go over here and then I can do his rook. I think this is the best way to do it because he's either way got to go there. The queen is stopping that file there. The rook is defended by the bishop. So if I did choose to bring the queen somewhere and check him over here, because he does have to move now, and it has to be on this file. So if he goes here, doesn't it mean my queen can come here and its mate? This is what I think, but we will see. Because the rook is not undefended, so we'll go there, checkmate. Okay, I was right. Okay, thanks for watching. That was a good game, and I'm very happy about it. I was up good material, and until next time, bye.